Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back at one of my favorite filming spot locations because guess what? We have that one British brand sports car that is still bringing high performance to the streets. This is it. This is a 2023 Jaguar F-Type R. But before we get into this supercharged all-wheel drive of a cat, let's talk about what's going on here. Things are changing in the auto industry. There is this rush, this mad rush towards pure electrified vehicles. Jaguar has made a statement that by 2025, their whole new car lineup will be pure electrified. What does that mean? That means that this F-Type R is a cat that's going to be going into extinction. Obviously today, there's lots of performance sports cars you could buy. Of course, you have the iconic Porsche 911. You have the Mercedes AMG GT. But if you've wanted a Jaguar and you want that unique supercharged V8 power, is it now or never to get one of these F-Type Rs, especially brand new? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this 2023 and see, is it the sports car that you need to be buying now? Let's find out. Right off the bat, you have this special SVO maroon color, which really sparkles like a dark ruby. At the front of the business, in 2019, the F-Type did receive a refresh, and you still see that very slim and trim headlight design. You got your multi-LED beam headlight, those J-style daytime running lamps and turn signals, and I love the way you have these massive corner air intakes that are going to feed cool air for the heat exchangers and also a corner air curtain. Another thing you'll notice on the R is that these intakes are larger. They're surrounded by gloss black, and you do have a massive splitter to help give us some downforce at the front of the business. Now, when we come across that grille, so much history, and what's interesting is that before there was an F-Type, there was the E-Type Jag. That actually came out in the mid-1960s, and that was a car that even Enzo Ferrari said was the most beautiful car he had ever seen. So this F-Type can trace its lineage all the way back to the famous E-Type. Of course, you're gonna get a large, functional center grille area, flat black with that Jaguar badge there. I like the way they take the F-Type name and stamp it in, and of course, you get the R badge right from SVO, Special Vehicle Operations, that supercharged power plant for this vehicle. Now, you'll notice that massive splitter, like I said, gives us downforce. We're trying to stop air from going underneath the vehicle. It is gloss black from one end to the other, but definitely, just like Enzo Ferrari fell in love with the E-Type, my heart pity the fool. My heart pitter-patters still for the lines on this F-Type. Now, when you get up onto that long slung bonnet, you'll notice how you have that front fascia comes into the hood area and then a nice rise in the center. You do have two functional heat extractors. I'm gonna have Steven swing around, show off the functionality of those heat extractors to help drag the hot air out from underneath the hood. And what's wonderful about the hood, it's still that classic clamshell opening where it opens from the back forward. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna notice this multi-spoke wheel, 20-inch wheel all the way around, machined aluminum, gloss black, tire size 265 on the width up front, 35 series sidewall. They are wrapped by Pirelli P0 tires. The big zonk are gonna be those calipers. Instead of having a nice 6-piston caliper, 4-piston caliper, we have these floating calipers, which on a car at this performance level, that's a big no-no. So I definitely wanna give it a zonk, but you do have rotors up front that are a little over 15 inches in diameter. Out back, they're 14.8. You do have adaptive suspension all four corners, and I also love the way that they just get it right with the amount of gap from the inside of the fender to the top of the tire. Now, as we come down, you'll notice we do have functional venting on the side vent. We have the leaping Jaguar, that classic badge from Jag. And then up top, you're gonna get a fixed glass roof, and you do get a sunshade, so you don't have to get blasted in the face with the sun's rays. We have those power folding mirrors with your turn signals, nice and trim, and I like the way that everything is color match painted. Along the bottom, you'll notice that we have that side sill extension that is also gloss black, and these door handles will go flush when you are inside the vehicle or you lock the vehicle. Very easy to do. You just hit that button and they'll close, and then they pop back out because the key fob is inside. So just something to realize that when you go, they do close in. And one thing I want Steven to showcase is that when they are extended out, they actually have the Jaguar name right there on top of the door handle. Now, when we talk about the rear here, now you're looking at wider. This is a 305, so this is all-wheel drive, power being sent from the rear to the front because it's rear-wheel drive based, but you have all-wheel drive capability. 305s out back because a majority of the power is going to go towards the rear wheels. And of course, 30 series sidewall. Another thing to remember is we do have limited slip diff, and I just like the fact that you have this sexy rear fender. This is probably one of my favorite pieces of this car, how it rises up from the passenger door and just comes into the rear. Nice and wide, super body lines. Let me know what you think about the body lines on this vehicle. Coming towards the rear, super sleek, coming off that fixed glass roof into the rear hatch area. They did a great job, just like up front on the taillights, full LED. You do get your R badge, and then you get some of the best looking exhaust ever. Staggered setup, nice round opening, and then of course, you got the quad tips on both sides. Wait until you hear the roar of this Jaguar out that exhaust, and then a rear diffuser that looks like it came off of their Le Mans race car, which remember, Jaguar has won the 24 Hours of Le Mans a few times. But really love the way that they did the rear bumper area with the F-Type badge, the R badge, and then this center area at 75 miles an hour actually rises up to give you a spoiler. And I love the way they got the leaping Jaguar all blacked out on that. It actually stays up. Once you hit 75, if you slow down, it will stay in its up position all the way to 45. And for those that like to show off at the mall or at Cars and Coffee, you can push a button and just extend this up. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that clamshell bonnet and see what's underneath it. All right guys, time to open up the bonnet, that reverse clamshell hood. And what you're gonna notice underneath, there is a lot of plastic, which I am gonna zonk, and it's a damn shame because the supercharger underneath that Jaguar cover looks absolutely stunning, even though they don't have it like totally polished and everything. But it's what's underneath the cover that's the big news. So what is it? It's a 5-liter V8 that's been tuned on through SVO, the Special Vehicle Operation Team, 575 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic with all-wheel drive, gives us 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. Quarter mile blazes by at 11.6 seconds at 123 miles per hour. Top speed, almost 190 miles per hour. MPGs, 16 in the city, 24 on the highway, and the car weighs about 4,105 pounds. But nice to still see the V8 engine, supercharged power. I don't know about you, but why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and hear its roar. All right, guys, we're inside the last of its kind, that Jaguar F-Type R. What's interesting is that 2023, there's just one F-Type you could buy. It's the R, because Jaguar is no longer offering the other trims with the smaller displacement engines. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've wanted a Jaguar ever since I was a kid. I used to love the leaping Jag hood ornament. How much is this F-Type R? Very good question. The way that this one is optioned, you're looking at an MSRP of $121,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I love the use of the leather, the two-tone with that off-white finish. You'll notice by the door handle, which unfortunately is a zonk because it's just regular black plastic, you do have all the switch gear for the power seats. 3 memory seat settings. You got the Meridian premium multi-speaker sound system, and then you do have a door pocket that is large enough for a Costco hot dog. Has been the same price since 1985. Now going from the door panel to the dash, love the way it's got that smooth leather finish. They did a good job blending in the AC vents. And then in the center stack here, that contrast stitching and crap handle for your passenger. The AC vents actually raise and lower. Look cool, but I'm not too sure how long that electric motor will last with this thing popping up and down. I really am digging this finish that they put up here. I wish they would have used more of it rather than just flat black plastic. You do have the R badge. We have a 10-inch infotainment system with the older operating software. So this is not the cooler, newer system that they have on a lot of Jaguars and Land Rovers. We do have that dynamic control. Look at this. You can see all the inner bits with the engine, depending on how you set it up. You even have things like a G-meter and a stopwatch. So you do have some nice track focused setups, even the way that you set up throttle and brake. Watch this. Throttle, brake, throttle, brake. Really cool to have those readouts, especially for your passenger. Gives your passenger something to focus on. Let me throw it into reverse. Super clear resolution. I just wish it was a little bit larger. But the good news is you got that 360-degree sensory protection. Put it back into park, hit home, and we're right back where we started. Working our way down, you do have dual climate, and I love the actual knobs. Very, very nice click, and I like the way they have the smooth rubber finish. Watch this. So to adjust the temperature, I could do that, but then I push. I have 3 stages of ventilated seats and 3 stages of heated seats. So that's another nice setup in here. Toggle switches for all the controls. A 12-volt, your start-stop button. This is control the only transmission. It is an 8-speed automatic. You have your thumb controller here for going into dynamic mode. That means we have the checkered flag lit up. Electric e-brake, a place for a couple Mentos, and then you do have some flat black. This is where I wish they would have used the other material where it says R down here, and this is a little on the cheaper plastic side, but you open this up, 2 cup holders. We got our Jaguar key fob. Nothing really to write home about, but it's got all the functions there. No remote start is a bit of a bummer. Close that up, nice leather. Open this up, you got some felt lining, 2 USB-A's, a 12-volt, and you have enough room in there, I would say, for your grandmother's Fabergé egg. So if your grandmother left you a Fabergé egg and she made you promise before she passed away that you would protect the egg, because it's been in your family for generations, you got the felt lining in there to really protect the Fabergé egg. Seats, absolutely love them. One piece, sport back, the stitching, the leather, the R, the Jaguar. Look at the bolstering, 2-tone. Obviously, I already showed you the power controls, but what's great about the seats is that they don't squish you like a vice grip. The leather quality is there, but yet you're also gonna get that great side bolstering. You do have Alcantara microfiber suede material on the headliner, and we do have a nice shade for that fixed glass roof. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Jag. All right, guys, business time. Obviously, I have 3 memory seat settings for the driver. You do get this really tasteful aluminum sill plate with the R badge, and then a pedal box that has a nice aluminum brake pedal and throttle. I wish there was an aluminum dead pedal. That's definitely going to be a zonk. But remember, I'm 6 feet tall, and I got plenty of room in here. Even with the glass roof and the shade, still got plenty of room. And then the steering wheel, that wonderful British leather, the stitch work all the way around. You got the leaping Jag, the R badge, electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. You do have paddles on the back of the wheel to go through that 8-speed automatic. And then I love the dash. Absolutely love it. Nice large tack, red lines around 7,000 RPM. You could clear out the information on the left and just show the Jag there, but you could also see that when you go into your different modes, it changes up. So kind of cool the way they do that. Dynamic is the performance setup in here. And then as we back out, you'll notice a little bit of that leather and Alcantara right on the gauge hood, which is really nice. Just kind of gives you that extra feel, fit, and finish. I'm dying to go on throttle. I really am. I think you can tell. But let me show you the cargo area, and maybe that might be the way to sell it to your significant other to get a Jaguar. Let's do it. Guys, like I was saying, if you want one of these, and maybe your significant other's like, are you sure? This is where you'll be able to have that winning selling point because of how much cargo room this two-seat sports car has. You hit the button, you have nice electric assist, you don't even have to use your muscles, and then what you're gonna be greeted to is 14 cubic feet of space. We have done reviews of other cars that have more doors that don't even have nearly as much room. So you could do the grocery shopping, you could do even some Costco shopping. As long as you don't get that 50-gallon drum of mayonnaise, you'll be just fine. Nice to have that usable space, but you know what? It's that time. If you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's go ahead, let's fire up this beast and go on throttle in our all-wheel drive Jag. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Jaguar F-Type R. If you're ready, I'm ready. We got supercharged V8 power and a Jaguar that has all-wheel drive. On throttle, here we go. Golly. Yeah. Love the sound of that freaking V8. Turn-in is really quick. Little bit of body roll, but the grip is there. God, that engine pulls all the way to redline. Woohoo! I tell you right now, this car is special with that SVO 5-liter V8, supercharged V8, putting out 575 horsepower. Everywhere you look in here, it's a very high upscale feel, especially with the Alcantara on the headliner, the A-pillars. The one thing you're gonna have to get a little used to is the roof line comes down a little bit as you're looking out the windshield, and the A-pillars, especially the one on the driver's side, kind of creates a bit of a blind spot, especially when you're trying to turn up the wick through the twisty bits. But I love being able to format that digital gauge display nice and large in the center. Really allows you to see the whole rev range, and I'm telling you right now, she pulls cleanly to 7,000 RPM, actually 7,500 if you want to be technical. Seats hold you in nicely. The leather is so supple. Plus, you gotta remember, you're getting just that iconic name. I mean, this is a brand that has history. So many great models, and you get to enjoy this car. You could drive it every day and in all type of climates with the all-wheel drive. I like the paddles, nice good size behind the wheel, and that ZF 8-speed automatic is quite responsive, especially on the upshifts. It's really one of those things that, yes, there are faster cars out there for the money. Arguably, there might be even better cars out there for the money. But there's no denying what Jaguar brings with this F-Type R. And remember, the days are numbered for this cat. Its 9 lives are pretty much all well spent. But you know what? We got a clear road in front of us. We got some twisty bits. If you're ready, I'm ready. Launch control, on throttle, here we go, golly! Love that sound. Brakes feel good. That sound is worth the price of admission. When you shift, man, it shifts with authority and then rockets you out. The two things that I would like to see improved is I would like to see the suspension have some thicker anti-roll bars. There's a little too much body roll going on for my taste. Now, the good news is you got the ultimate grip of the all-wheel drive, but just a little too much body roll, and I would like the steering to be a little bit heavier, a little bit slower. And what I mean by that is it's really quick. It's almost too quick because it feels, I think, too light because obviously it's an electric steering rack. I think maybe if they just program a little bit more weight in it to make it feel more like a traditional hydraulic steering setup, that would really be the ticket. But other than that, man, this thing checks off all of the high performance boxes. All right, guys, this is very addictive. Going on throttle, especially with the launch control, it launches you at 2,000 RPM. That's impressive. I love feeling like I'm sitting on that rear axle and seeing just the sexy proportions of the hood. But if you're ready, I'm ready. First gear, on throttle, here we go, golly! On those brakes. God, the sound! Yeah. All right, guys, one more time for me. Definitely one more time for you. Second gear, on throttle, here we go. The torque, it just pulls. On those brakes, look at this. Really nice. I just love the fact that you don't have to worry about losing grip. Woohoo! God, the sound, I'm gonna hear this thing in my freaking dreams. I really am. I'm gonna hear it in my freaking dreams. The way it builds torque so low in the rev range, pulls all the way through. The only thing I'm missing is just a little supercharger whine. It doesn't need to be at the level of a Hellcat Red Eye or even my ZL1 1LE, but just a little hint on the interior of that freaking supercharger whine. But I'm telling you, getting to everything is very easy. The seat controls, I mean, I was able to get it set up for myself. 1, 2, 3. You got usable storage back there, and you got probably, I would say, one of the sexiest shaped cars ever produced. Like ever. Like ever. But remember, days are numbered. Electric vehicles, they are coming. Do you need to get one of these? I'm gonna say if you've been wanting one, it's now or never if you want to get one new. But we need to get back and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one of those intense kind of days out here with this Jaguar F-Type R. I gotta thank everybody over at Jaguar for allowing us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Are you gonna go with this British sports car with all that power and that V8 thrust with the supercharger, or are you gonna wait for the electric versions to come? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. We got to give it up to Stephen Flood Photography, working that camera like a champ. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.